Max Verstappen finished the first practice session of the Belgian Grand Prix top of the timesheets. But that news was tempered for the championship leader by confirmation that Red Bull have fitted a new engine in his RB20. That means he'll be hit with a 10-place grid penalty for Sunday's race, since he's now gone over his allocation of 4 engines for the season. That said, his quick pace will be encouraging for the Dutchman, especially as he's won at Spa from down the order in the past, taking victory from P6 last year and from all the way down in 14th in 2022. With Verstappen set for that penalty, Red Bull will need Sergio Perez to take the fight to the other front-runners at the sharp end of the grid. The Mexican was finding it difficult to dial himself into the car early in the session.
I'm really struggling to know what the guy is doing on entry.
Is that mainly low speed?
All speeds, low speed and medium. I don't have the feeling of what's going on.
But ended up P7 after the first runs of the weekend. At the other end of the order, Esteban Ocon was unable to even set a lap time after Alpine hit trouble. The Frenchman, who announced on Thursday that he's joining Haas next season, made it out onto the Spa track in the first few minutes of the session, but was ordered back to the pits almost immediately.
Box the car, please, Esteban, box the car.
Will I stop?
No, box the car, please, box the car now.
Alpine, who are running a special Deadpool and Wolverine livery this weekend, reported later that a suspected water leak was to blame, but they were unable to complete a Hollywood comeback and get the car fixed in time to get Ocon back out in the session. Oscar Piastri comes into this race the last before F1 summer break, riding high after taking his first Grand Prix victory last time out in Hungary. And the Australian was looking rapid again around the historic Spa-Francorchamps circuit in FP1. He was second quickest for McLaren, half a second down on Verstappen's benchmark, with teammate Lando Norris down in P8. Perhaps the surprise of the session was Alex Albon in P3 on the leaderboard for Williams. The Grove team do tend to go well around this track, but it's still a fine effort for the Thai racer, who was directly ahead of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes cars. Charles Leclerc was in P6 behind that trio, but was left a little frustrated by some ill-timed radio calls from his engineer.
S1 turn 8.
What did you say, Ryan? Please don't. I didn't get what you said, but don't speak in fast stops.
So Verstappen finished top of the timesheets with Piastri half a second behind in P2. Albon was next for Williams, followed by the Mercedes pair of Russell and Hamilton. Then it was Leclerc, Perez and Norris, with Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll rounding out the top 10. Pierre Gasly was 11th for Alpine, ahead of Fernando Alonso in the second Aston Martin and Daniel Ricciardo, who had an early spin out of turn 1 and just avoided the pit wall. Valtteri Bottas was P14, followed by Logan Sargent in the second Williams. Yuki Tsunoda will start from the back of the grid this weekend after taking a host of new power unit parts and was 16th in FP1, with the Haas pair Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen P17 and 18 ahead of Zhou Guanyu, with Esteban Ocon last, with no time on the board.